me out a little bit. I'm like,
okay. I do want to ask you about something I saw on your Facebook page, and you've kind of alluded to this a couple other times. So I was scrolling, as I do before I interview someone. I saw an album. I was like, well, this is my shit. Social distancing food album.
oh yes.
Oh my God. Now I'm going to add a picture of this, but I saw some garlic dill pickles that looked amazing.
Make a good pickle.
Make a good pickle.
Make a good pickle. So let me preface by saying that I went to culinary school in 1987.
Okay.
And 20 years as a professional chef.
Wow. Okay. That makes a lot of sense because I'm like, well, this is quality looking food.
See, like my food posts are like, oh, all right. And I'm like, well, no. You just met me at Jiu Jitsu time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a life before Jiu Jitsu. My life before Jiu Jitsu was food.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I was a pastry chef. I was an executive chef for literally 20 years. I retired at 38, which was 2 years ago, like do full-time jiu-jitsu work at the gym. And I like ran bakeries. I mean, I did the work. I worked at Whole Foods for a couple years doing like managing the bakery. So yeah, I can cook. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what's your most favorite thing you've made so far in the COVID world?
So I love bread. The bread has been really fun. So what is some, okay, so we got obsessed with this strawberry salad.
Okay.
Which was delicious. So I don't know like what you're into, but it was.
I love some fruit in my salad. I'm with it.
Baby spinach, red onion, strawberries, goat cheese or feta.
Love goat cheese.
Nice grilled chicken, but lemon poppy seed dressing.
Ooh.
It was delicious. It was like honey, lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, or poppy seeds.
Okay.
Try it. It's easy.
You know what?
For the recipe if you want it.
Okay, like one of my favorite salads that I ever had was a mango and duck salad, and it was like on some mixed greens. And I remember looking, I was like, I am not eating this. This looks disgusting. It took me one bite. Like, I need to order another one of these. Because this little side salad is not going to work for me. But
and fruit,
goat cheese as well. I love me some goat cheese now.
But yeah, mostly I get down with a lot of the breads. I just made some ube bread, like purple sweet potato bread.
Ooh.
And I'm perfecting it right now. All the purple belts are obsessed with this bread. What is it with purple that you, like when you're a purple belt and you have to have like literally everything purple? I went through the same phase. And then I got my brown belt and I was like, everything looks like poop.
Everything is blah.
Yeah, you're like, brown belt. But purple belt, I had like a purple patty for like 3 years. Like I was just like, I'm just going to get my toes on purple. So I would have been all over this purple bread.
Gotcha. You would have made sandwiches for lunch and all.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, would have been purple. Is there purple meat? I don't think so, but maybe duck. If it's undercooked duck,
there you go. I was looking. I saw your sourdough, and I was like, oh, I could kill that right now. I
like tricked out my oven at home. There's like a double ceramic pizza plates. To keep
to keep it.
Yeah. I told you I'm extra. When it comes to stuff, I'm like, I do it 1,000% and perfect it before I
when I was in high school. I don't know how you guys do schools up there. When you get to high school, we had a thing called academies. So within the school, you pick a certain academy for your electives.
I got you.
So we had like arts and drama. You had a culinary one. You had medical.
That's like
auto body,
like Votech.
Yeah. So the idea is like whatever it is, you can get a little career experience in it, but like my sister was in the early childhood, and they actually ran a daycare for at the school for some of the parents.
They teach you how to do stuff at school?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's really weird. So it depends on like which one you're in that you can actually so for you to become like to work at a daycare, you only need like, I don't know, let's say, I know I'm wrong, like 30 hours of this. You could graduate and get your 30 hours, and that could be something you could have. Nice. So I was in the music one, huge band nerd, but I did culinary arts too. I'm not gonna say the only reason, but the main reason is because my aunt taught the class, and you just did not take her class if you were at the school. So I think I did in 4 years. And we had block scheduling where you had 4 classes a day for half a year, then you switched. So in 4 years, I think I took the class 7 times.
Nice.
I had it every semester but 1 year. Once I realized, like, wait a minute. You're telling me we're just going to cook the whole day. And like, and they teach you like the restaurant type classes. But once I realized what it was like, so you're telling me we're just going to cook here. And I can be in bakery and like, technically you're not supposed to, and I can just snack on rolls all day. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm definitely gonna do this. Like while everyone else is fighting to do like, I want to do hot food, I want to do cold food, I want to do this. I wanted to do the dish room, laundry, and bakery because no one messed with you in those areas.
No, it's a pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to cook. I mean, the profession of it's got some downsides for sure. It's real stressful for sure. But the since I've left that and just do it for fun,
enjoyed it more.
Some of the most relaxing things that I like when I'm like feeling anxious and I go through like anxiety or any kind of like depression stage or anything like that. The first thing I do is put my butt in the kitchen for the day because it just zones me out. Yeah. I just like chill about it. You know what I mean? I think it's so second nature to me now too. It's so many years of practice that you're just like, I could do this. Like, it's very soothing.
I think we all, during the Corona we went through a thing. So, well, I guess I'm going to start baking a bunch of random crap now.
I never had so many bread questions in my Facebook Messenger in my life.
I think most of us get right up to the point where we have to start involving yeast. We're like, we're not going that deep.
Well, there was like a yeast shortage in the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't order yeast. I'm like,
no.
Man, guys, like, they're like, how do I do this? I'm like, well, you got to
when people started buying, like, we have, I don't know if you have Big Lots up there, which is like a discount. Yeah. So like, I was just like looking at Big Lots, even Big Lots, like, you know, they have that random baking area where it's like the different types of flour, baking soda. All of that was gone. And I know nobody goes there. I was like, what the heck?
It's still gone. Do you guys, is there Wegmans in Florida?
I don't think so.
No, Wegmans like just a regular supermarket. But I went to Wegmans. There's like no rye flour. You can't buy rye flour. Like who? Not only are people making bread, but they're making rye bread.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you should start slow.
We've gotten beyond the let's try banana bread. It's like too easy. We need something challenging.
I need to make sourdough from scratch. It takes like 2 weeks just to get the base ready to make it. And then they're going to make breads and then it takes another month although everybody's got nothing but time on their hands. So it's like,
I will say,
how to make bread.
I will say I've made a couple of breads. I've made a couple of like 3-day stews and soups because like you said, I had nothing to do. And, you know, being in the South, there's a lot of different types of soul food you can cook that take a while if you want to get the flavors in right. So I would pick a random food that like either my grandparents or my aunts would cook, but like how it works, like typically how it works in like a Southern Black family is like everyone has their dish and no one else is allowed to make that dish. If you make that dish and bring it to like say it's like a Thanksgiving and, you know, one person makes pound cake. If you then bring a pound cake and it's not your designated dish, no one will touch your pound cake. Except for like there might be one brave soul that tries it, but and like everyone will be watching them try that's like, how does it taste? No one's gonna taste it. So embarrassment can be very high. And it can be a perfectly good cake.
I love all like deep-rooted family food traditions. I'm like obsessed with that kind of stuff. I love that. Like because when you're in like culinary field that it's not like that. Like you don't really have a specialty because you're cooking all kinds of stuff all the time. But I love it's like no, like people tell me stories all the time. Like my grandma made this mac and cheese and it was like this, and nobody could make it, and nobody's made it since. And and it's amazing. Like my grandpa's the same. My grandpa's the only person I ever met that crushed tomatoes in mac and cheese. It's actually really good. I'm curious. Super weird. But now like my mom will make it and it's like Pop-Up's mac and cheese. Like what is that's not how I make macaroni and cheese. Like I'm more of like the creamy sauce. I can make the bechamel.
You're doing like the proper way.
It's the bougie one.
Right? What do we have in this?
Yeah, when you eat that one, you're like, oh, this is like home, right? Well, it's like that's the feeling.
So since it's like our family has become a lot smaller, so it's my mom, my sister, Oh, my mom and my two sisters. None of us have kids. So it's just us for holidays. And we don't do the big going because everyone lives in a different state now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the foods, like someone like, you're making this. My older sister's like, the macaroni's on you. My younger sister does certain desserts. I got a bunch of crap that I don't really know how I end up with it, but like, these are my dishes. So as we got into the quarantine, I was like, you know what? Let's start really cooking stuff. And then we had, for the last couple of years, we've been celebrating Juneteenth. And it's basically turned into second Thanksgiving, but all soul food.
That sounds amazing.
Absolutely terrible for us. Like, as we're eating, like, oh, this is going to kill my stomach. It's so good. So my thing this year was I made the cabbage. And, you know, we make our cabbage and then we make it with like way too much seasoning. And then we put like smoked turkey. That's the main seasoning in it.
Sounds pretty good.
And then I made field peas with like ham hocks and stuff like that. Like, I'd never bought a ham hock in my life. And I'm just like looking like, I want a big one with a lot of seasoning. And so I'm starting to make these foods that like, I probably never would have learned to cook. They probably, honestly, would have kind of just like died out because like I didn't want to do them because they're time consuming, a lot of these. Yeah. Like I learned how to make tripe. I learned how to make,
Not easy to cook.
No, but you know what I had? 4 months to learn.
They got time to explore, right?
Yes.
But it's good because there's a lot of like sense memory around food that I love, and there's a lot of like traditions around food that just remind you of people, and it's like such a beautiful experience, like to taste something from someone else's family, from your own family, and just get that like part of their, it's just like a little like snapshot of them, because food, I mean, just from my life, food has always been very important, right? It's
definitely.
I made a career out of it. So it's just, to me, that's like a number one way to bring up a memory, is to be like, oh good, like what were we eating?
Oh yeah. Well, with us, it's like a lot of, when you think about like most of like these family gatherings, they end up centering around food. So it's normal you make these connections to it. Another quick story. I remember we had another Thanksgiving. This is probably the last one that like my parents got divorced, so we kind of went to our dad's side for Thanksgiving, and my mom would still go. Then there was a time we're like, we're not doing that anymore. But there was this one time where we were there, and I'll start this one. My dad is the youngest of 8, I want to say. My mom's like the middle of 7.
Yeah,
so we have a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles. So my dad's family's down here, and we were going there, and one of my cousins, her wife came, and she brought a dish. Again, new wife. We don't know who this was. Like, we know her, but we don't know what her cooking was like. And she's from, somewhere in the Caribbean. I can't really think of what it is. And she put the plate down. We're all looking like, what the fuck did she make? I don't know what she made. So like, the day goes on. You know, you eat a little bit later, and like the food's, like, we ate around maybe like 1 or 2, and the thing's still there. And like one person goes and grabs and tastes it. Within 10 minutes, the entire tray is gone because someone vouched, like, did you try what she made? It's so good. Like, oh, really? And then all of them like, oh, really? What is this? So I have these deep rooted things to food, and like a true Floridian, we love Publix here, like more than anything. Publix and Winn Dixie. We're big on Publix and Winn Dixie.
Winn Dixie is the first place I ever saw a yellow watermelon. I didn't even know it existed. I was like 30. I was like, what is that? I was like, I had to buy it. I was like, I have to buy it right now. Yeah. What is that? And it tastes just like regular watermelon.
But it's yellow. I just recently started going back to Winn Dixie because there's one near my mom's house. I just never, because you don't really think about Winn Dixies anymore.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and you know how, again, like it's a Southern thing, especially like a Southern Black thing, is like once you hit a certain age, you basically don't have to buy your own food. People will just like gift you random foods, like, hey, we got this bread, or hey, we went fishing, we brought this. So my grandmother, she always had a bunch of random food at her house. And growing up, her house was like right next to the elementary school that most of us went to. So that was a pit stop. You always ended up going through there. And one of like these staples from like my childhood is rainbow bread, which is just plain bread but it got colors in it. It's a swirly, rainbowy mess. So, as a kid, you're convinced it tastes better.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just plain bread.
Yeah.
So
like,
I
sprinkles on it always tastes better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Winn Dixie the other day. I just happened to pop there for Juneteenth. I was picking up some last minute things and I saw some rainbow bagels. I had to grab them real quick. And as I went to give them to my mom because she was heading down first to see my sister. I was like, take these to Tiara. She'll get it. Mom was like, what do you mean? It's like, no explanation. Just hand them to her.
Yeah.
And like 45 minutes later, my sister calls. She's like, I was like, she gets it. It's like something, just seeing that I had like a wave of nostalgia thinking about our childhood, making like getting sandwiches on these. And, when you're like around older people and you're younger and you go to school, sometimes you realize that other people don't have that situation. So like you bring the food and they're like, what is that? It's like, oh, your family doesn't have rainbow bread? Oh yeah, this is a special kind of bread that only my grandmother get, like not knowing that you could just go to the store because I'd never seen it at a store.
No, but it doesn't matter.
One.
Your grandma gave it to you.
Yep.
That's what matters. When I think about my grandma, when I grew up in the house with my grandparents, and my grandma on Saturday mornings when we were watching cartoons, we would have cereal, but she would make us like a cup of tea. She would put so much sugar in the tea, it would have like that syrup in the bottom. And I mean, like you weren't allowed to tell your parents, of course.
No.
Nan made this tea, and you would just like. It was like sand tea with so much
and
sugar.
It was still like
the best. Yeah. And I still love my tea super sweet. I can't drink black tea without now I try to use Splenda, but
okay, random question, like geography location, you guys just do iced tea up there, or do you have sweet tea?
Okay, so Philly specifically, there's an iced tea up here called Arctic Splash, and it comes in a cardboard carton. And it tastes like it comes in a cardboard carton. So that's a thing in Philly. I don't know why it's existed since I was a child. It was like when I was a kid, you could get it was like 50 cents for like a carton of Arctic Splash. That's what it's called.
Arctic Splash.
It does not taste the same in a half-gallon jug. You have to get it in the carton. Otherwise it doesn't taste like it usually tastes. But yeah, we don't do so my stepmom does sun tea.
Okay.
Regular tea with sugar. But mostly everybody else I've ever encountered in my life is the powdered iced tea.
See, that's one of the things that I went to this time last year we went to Vegas. And again, I'm a Southerner. I'm born and bred in the South. And then I remember getting a tea, not realizing that only us do liquid diabetes here. We make sweet tea. It's the default is sweet tea, not like a lemon tea. And I remember and I don't I'm not really great with really sweet stuff. I started doing unsweet and mixing it, but I always have to say, hey, unsweet tea. So I ordered just a tea and they gave me this lemon mess. I was like, what the hell is this? And the look of my sister,
probably more what you would get up here.
Oh,
it's more. It doesn't taste like tea at all.
Oh.
It doesn't taste anything like an actual brewed cup of tea, or if you made sun tea and sweetened it yourself, which is a whole other tea. For some reason, we have this weird, it's like a drink. It's like tea drink.
No.
I don't know, but I'm going to ship you an Arctic Splash.
You do that, and I'm going to send you some, I'm going to send you some public sweet tea, because that right there.
What is it? It's got a weird, I've never had a drink that you actually still enjoy that tastes like cardboard. There's something this nostalgic about it. I guess you're like, yeah, it tastes like
childhood. Yeah. No, if you go to a Publix and get some Publix sweet tea, that is what I think tea is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Isn't it amazing? So we've been talking all this time about all those differences in states, and in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like America. Everybody's the same. Because you go to Europe, you're like, Europeans are so different from us.
And then you're like,
but Europe's the same size as the US. So of course there's so many differences between people. I'm like, man, look at ice.
We are way too big. I was sitting there, everyone's they wonder why there's so much fighting. It's because we're massive.
Yeah, it's just
we cover so much land, so many different kinds of people. Yeah, it's crazy.
We have a map of my shipping for the candle company, And like, we've hit every state except for the Midwest. I'm like, what is it with the Midwest?
Why do you not like candles?
Like, what's the matter with you guys? I'm like, maybe they don't like candles out there. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna go to the Mighty Minute, but there's another like food thing I remember is so I'm gonna end up cutting and editing this a bunch.
I know. I was like, we're been going for like 2 hours.
This normally is like a 45-minute conversation. So yeah, this is gonna be edited a lot. I remember like being in elementary school and like when you get a snack, you know, you have a snack halfway through the day.
Yeah.
You're supposed to bring your snack. If you don't, you end up getting like saltines and like something, you know, default, some shit like that. Or those nasty, okay, I should also say like I don't like Oreos because of my childhood, those Twist cookies.
I don't like Oreos either. Not for any
Thank you.
Or anything, but I just don't like the taste of them. They don't taste good to me.
I think
they're just so dry.
Oh my God, we are friends now. But for some reason, my mom forgot to pack my snack. And I was so like, what am I, you know, as with all the outrage of fifth graders, like, what am I going to eat for a snack? I have nothing. I'm going to starve. Again, keep in mind, the snack is literally like an hour before lunch. It's not a big deal. So my grandmother was like, oh, I got you something. I'll make you a snack. And she proceeded to give me a little Tupperware container with like 4 fried chicken wings, some like a pastry, like she made me lunch basically. And you know, at the time, it was good chicken too. It was like chicken she made. And I was like, oh, we'll put you here. I'll put you like a piece of bread in here with this. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I got to show this. Like, I'm going to be the Black girl who comes up with fried chicken at the snack. Great. Thanks, Grandma. And then I remember going, like, all right, it was snack time. Everyone went out. We eat outside. I was like, oh, I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat the snack. And I do like chicken. So we like pulled it out. And I remember instantly, everyone's like, oh, what does Tori have? And then, you know, instantly you're like, oh, this?
Exactly. It's a proud moment.
Then it's like, oh, I'll trade you this. Like, no, I think I'll eat my fried chicken. And then like after that,
and jelly.
So then like after that, for the next week, I was like, can Mama Dot make my snack? And then let me get away with it for a little. I was like, all right, Tori, you're not going to be eating 2 lunches. Because again, I was a chunky kid. She's like, no, she's not making. Take your Go-Gurt and calm down.